your 7th Stallion Cup Jumbo Plastic Linoleum Conference presented to you by Jumbo Plastic Linoleum, Kaukai Thai Chicken House, AutoGuard Car Care, Park Access, and Torch. In your main game of your Thursday special, it's the battle between Element Steel trying to get their second win in 4 games, facing the slipping Ramen Nagi on a 2-game losing streak entering this one. Element Steel wearing their immaculate whites, while Ramen Nagi, Buffalo's Wings and Things, wearing their ferocious red. About to get things going in a moment. Ramen Nagi starting with Christian Lee, Zarkiambao, Kenti, Varol Bana, and Rico Farillas. And we are now underway in this ball game, and Gio Sia, one of the starting fires for Element Steel, opening the scoring. Element Steel starting with Sia, Renzel Yonko making his return after missing their last outing. Paul Antiporda, Carl Lim, and Bernard Yu also in the 5 for Element Steel. Zarkiambao missing his first attempt off the ball game. Antiporda swings it to Carl Lim. Now Renzel Yonko, 14 on the shot clock. They go back to Carl Lim for 3 offline. Long rebound secured by Zarkiambao. Kiambao sends it to Ken T for 3. No good. Varol Bana with the offensive board. And there's a foul called. It's on Renzel Yonko. A little too aggressive on Varol Bana on that offensive rebound sequence. And I will never forget that last outing by Renzel Yonko a couple of games ago against Cool Summer Farm, where he went 0 for 14 and only scoring 4 points, all from the free throw line. That was one of the worst Renzel Yonko games I've ever covered, and it's dating back to 2022. Giosia fades, fires, left it short, back-to-back misses for the former LaSalle and Xavier High School standout. Kenti, another 3, swishes it in for the first 3 of the ball game for Ramen Nagi. Three to 2 start for Ramen Nagi. Yonko to Sia. Drives closer, Gio Sia. Loose ball, one there. Oh, look at that play by Bernard Yu. Bernard Yu, amazing performance last time around. Continuing from that victory against Acro City last week. Kiambao fakes the pass, drives closer. Oh, what a hang time move, but Paul Antiporda was right there to block his path. 4-3 lead here for Element Steel. Renzel Yonko, 14 on the shot clock, straight away 3. In and out, and Varol Bana with the rebound, pushes it forward. Zarkiambao throws it away. Paul Antiporda now. Or should we say that's Carl Lim with the basketball, defended by Rico Farillas. But great breakaway from Carl Lim. 3-point lead now for Element Steel in the early goings. And Ken T throws the ball away. That pass intended for Christian Lee. Now to the front court is Paul Antiporda. Sends it to Yonko with 16 on the shot clock. Cross-court pass goes to Paul Antiporda. Straight away 3. That's Carl Lim on fire with 5 straight points to make this a 9-3 lead for Element Steel. Christian Lee, too strong on the jumper. Varol Bana, offensive board. Farillas, floater, 2 bounces and won't go in. Christian Lee, offensive board, and Lee goes down. And now Element Steel on this 4-on-4 attack. They go to the corner. Carl Lim missing from deep. Varol Bana slowly to the front court. Kenty. They go back to Bana. Jumper from the baseline. The big man, Varol Bana, knocks it in to make this a 4-point ball game as we are a minute away from the halfway mark. Carlim. Ball Antiporda. Now to Renzel Yonko with 12 on the shot clock. Well defended here by Rico Farillas. They go to Giacia. Great ball movement from Element Steel. But no dice for Paul Antiporda from deep. Varol Bana lost the basketball. Antiporda now. Rim running. Paul Antiporda misses that circus shot. Now here comes Ramen Nagi. 2-on-3. Rack attack by Christian Lee off the mark. Baseline inbound here for Ramen Nagi. Rico Farillas to trigger. So we got a little clock malfunction here. All right. 9-5 is our count. Last possession before we get our swap. Kiambao. Well defended by two Element Steel defenders. Christian Lee goes downhill but misses. Giacia slaloming through the defense of Zara Kiambao. Kick out. Carlim misses the jumper. Varol Bana with a defensive board. They go to Kiambao. And that's a 3-on-3. Traveling violation called on Zara Kiambao. And we have our mid-quarter swap for both teams as we continue action here in the 7th Stallion Cup Jumbo Plastic Linoleum Conference, presented to you by Jumbo Plastic Linoleum, Kaukai, Thai Chicken House, AutoGuard, Car Care, Park Access, and Torch. Rajan Lee will be joined by Trunks Atienza, as well as best player of the game, Peter Ramirez, who had 18 points, 10 rebounds, and 5 assists in that victory over Acro City last Thursday. Bernard Uy will stay on the floor together with Giacia for the short-handed 8-man strong lineup for Element Steel tonight. For Ramen Nagi, they will have Joshua Lim on the floor here together with J.D. Wu. Tom Koo making his first appearance tonight. Zar Kiambao will stay together with Rico Farillas. So both teams sporting an 8-man lineup for this match. Ramirez, the floater, too strong, and offensive board by Bernard Wu. This time he gets fouled. J.D. Wu gets called for that last foul. So Bernard Wu at the free throw line for 2. Takes and makes his first free throw. Wow, well improved here for Bernard Wu. Makes both of his free throws after not making any out of, I believe, 6 or 7 attempts. So now an 11-5 lead for Element Steel. Joshua Lim missing from 3-point land. Giacia now to Rajan Lee. They swing it. They go back to Giacia, who misses that left wing jumper. Joshua Lim lost the basketball. Giacia attacking Kiambao. Giacia drops it off. Rajan Lee for the score on that 2-on-1 attack against Zara Kiambao. 13-5, an 8-point advantage for Element Steel. Tom Crew trying to make his move here. They kick it out to Farillas. Shot clock down to 7. Crew thought about the 3. They go back to Farillas. Left elbow jumper from deep, but no good. Now Rajan Lee settling the troops for Element Steel. Atienza. Now they go to Bernard Yu. Lost the basketball. Tom Crew pushing the tempo for Ramen Nagi, but from behind, a steal by Peter Ramirez. Ramirez stop and pop jumper, too strong. Rebound by Bernard Yu. Off the window and in! And Bernard Yu, what a start with 6 points. 10-point lead for Element Steel. Another turnover here for Ramen Nagi as Joshua Lim throws the ball away. Giacia thought about the 3. Nice drop off to Ramirez, but a little too strong. And looks like Peter Ramirez was not ready for that pass. 2:20 remaining in the first frame. Another close range miss, this time by Joshua Lim. Tom Koo missing from deep. Rajan Lee heading the 2-on-3. Lee. Rack attack, and there's a foul downstairs. And the foul is called on Zar Kiambao. And Rajan Lee earns another trip to the free throw line. Rajan Lee this season, 15.7 points. Go along with 4.7 rebounds. A 47% shooter from the line. Lee missing from the foul line. Under 2 minutes left here in the first. 10-point lead for Element Steel. Straightaway 3. Missed off to the left rather by J.D. Wu. Ramirez finds Rajan Lee. But the ball just rolls out of the rim. Kiambao. Tom Crew recovers a loose ball. Back to Kiambao. Left wing jumper. Left it short. And the rebound goes to Trunks Atienza. Minute and 25 left here in the opening quarter. Giosia. 12 seconds on the shot clock. Sia kicks it out. And Trunks Atienza could not get to the basketball, and it's a backcourt violation against Element Steel. Check. Minute and 8 remaining before we hit the midway point of our first half. Joshua Lim swings it back to Kiambao. 7 to shoot. Kiambao feeds Tom Koo down low. The fake, the shot, no good for the wily veteran. Bernard Yu with the rebound. Now Rajan Lee. Rack attack against 2 red shirts, and Rajan Lee called for the offensive foul as Zar Kiambao planted his feet and got the positioning right there. And I got a personal injury update coming from Justin Almeida of Ramen Nagi. Bruised elbow from the last game, slow healing. As you see, J.D. Wu score down low. So we wish a speedy recovery to Justin, the Aviator Almeida. 24 seconds remaining here in the first period. Great stop right there from Tom Koo, preventing Trunks Atienza from starting this offense for Element Steel. 5 seconds difference between game and shot clock as Rajan Lee rejects that screen from Peter Ramirez. 2 on the shot clock and a miss by Giosia from the right wing. 1 second left. Kiambao And the feed. Oh, at the buzzer, the score for Joshua Lim. They count the basket. It's a 15-9 start for Element Steel. 6-point lead for Element Steel after one over Ramen Nagi. Don't go anywhere. We got more action coming your way here in the 7th Stallion Cup Jumbo Plastic Linoleum Conference. Before we continue action here on this beautiful Thursday here in the 7th Stallion Cup Jumbo Plastic Linoleum Cup, once again a quick shout out to Justin Almeida of Ramen Nagi Buffalo Swings and Things, currently recovering with an elbow injury, and happy birthday Ellis Chua of Eagle, and a 3-second violation against Ramen Nagi to start the second quarter of action. It's a 15-9 lead, a 6-point advantage for Element Steel entering the second quarter. Once again, my name is Dago Del Paz, bringing you the action from the courtside here at AYSN Sports Center in the heart of San Juan. Ramirez, the kick out, straightaway 3 for Carl Lim. 1, 2, 3. 9-point lead for Element Steel. They try to go inside to the big man Varol Bana, and we got a holding foul called against Peter Ramirez. Barely a minute gone by here in the second. Zarkiambao all day to shoot, but barely or didn't draw iron on that one. Now Yonko sends it over to Ramirez, baseline drive. Extra pass, another 3 on the way. Carl Lim couldn't make the heat check. Long rebound goes to Rico Farillas. They go inside to Bana, but snatched away by Rajon Lee. Peter Ramirez down low against 3 red shirts. Ramirez recovers for the score. And Ramen Nagi didn't know what hit them. And now they're down by 11 points, 20-9. Christian Lee inside to Bana. Couldn't find the bottom there. Rajon Lee, rack attack, gets fouled. Continuation play. 2+1 for the former DLSU Green Archer, Rajon Lee. 22-9. Element Steel turning things around after that 0-2 start to the season. A different pep to their step here in their last 2 outings, including this one. Bana makes the extra pass to Christian Lee. Bana recovers and scores down low. Another 3 on the way. Counted for Carl Lim. Son. Timeout on the floor called by Ramen Nagi. And that 3-pointer was our best offensive play of the period, brought to you by Jumbo Plastic Linoleum as we segue into this Park Access timeout. Back in the action here at AYSN Sports Center in the heart of San Juan City. As Element Steel dropping this 14-point advantage against Ramen Nagi. But off the timeout, Christian Lee answers with a 2+1 opportunity right there. And Carl Lim gives up that last foul. Christian Lee takes and makes the bonus. So cut this deficit down to 11. 15 on the shot clock. Lim gets fouled. Oh, what a play! If you don't like that, you don't like Stallion Cup basketball. Carl Lim gets the hoop, the harm, the three-point play the hard way. You will get this bonus shot opportunity. Currently now a Baker's dozen lead for Element Steel. Now up to 14. (28-14). First 3 minutes of play here in the second quarter. Offensive foul on Ramen Nagi. Buffalo swings and things. Foul is called on Ken T. Yonko gets the ball back. Drives closer. Yonko, long two. Still can't find the bottom, but Ramirez was right there. A little too strong on the reset. T gives it up to Christian Lee. Stop and pop jumper offline. Yonko another rebound. Sends it forward to Paul Antiporda. Rejected by Farrell Bana. The reset here by Element Steel. Yonko extra pass to Lim. Off mark. Recovery by Paul Antiporda. Hang time move. Highlight play here in the second period. 6:12 left. And Renzo Yonko with a Kaukai Thai Chicken House defensive play of the quarter. Oh, but misses point blank. Rajan Lee recovers that loose ball. 9 to shoot. Yonko for three. No dice. Christian Lee going downhill. Rack attack gets fouled. He will go to the line for two. 16-point ball game in favor of the surging Element Steel. Lee makes the first of two. Cuts his deficit down to 15. 1 of 2 for Lee. It's off Varol Bana, the former UE Junior Warrior. Renzel Yonko surveying the floor, gives it up to Rajan Lee. Now to Carl Lim. 12 on the shot clock. And Zarkiambao pickpockets his way to the other side of the floor and cuts this deficit down to 13. Now Renzo Yonko with 17 on the shot clock. Rejects that screen by Rajan Lee. Jumper off to the right. Farrell Bana with the rebound. Christian Lee stops and pops. Doesn't make it. Ping pongs its way to Rajan Lee. Lee attacks the basket to the score. We got our midway swap here in the second period. 32-17, still in favor of Element Steel. Once again, 7th Stallion Cup Jumbo Plastic Linoleum Conference action is presented to you by Jumbo Plastic Linoleum, Kaukai Thai Chicken House, AutoGuard Car Care, Park Access, and Torch. It's been all Element Steel all game long so far. So far, it's been Element Steel shooting 38% from the field versus Ramen Nagi's 25%. Element Steel also knocking down 3-pointers, made 3 so far. And so far, points off turnovers, 16 from Element Steel coming off 12 Ramen Nagi turnovers. And also 11 fast break points converted by Element Steel. They know how to score off transition plays as well as set plays. Carl Lim leading the way, 14 points for Element Steel. Rajan Lee and Bernard Yu with 6 points apiece. Giasia, cross-court pass to Lim. Automatic from beyond the arc. Carl Lim, 17 points tonight. Trunks Atienza nearly with that defensive stop, but he gets called for the foul. 2 free throws on the way for Tyrone Tan. (35-18), and Ramen Nagi needs all the offense they could get or they could muster. Tan goes 2 out of 2 from the line. Cuts his deficit down to 16. Rajan Lee. They swing it to Giasia. 12 to shoot. They go to the corner and Carl Lim could not get a handle of that basketball off that cross-court pass. Tyrone Tan sends it back to Joshua Lim. Couldn't get that layup to go. Rajan Lee races for that basketball. Recovers against Kiambao. Oh, and what a rejection off the help side from Tom Koo. The wily veteran with a great timing on that help side defense. Carl Lim starting to go cold from beyond the arc. Joshua Lim, full out of steam, tried to go for the inside hand finish to no avail. Rajan Lee against 3 defenders, blocked by JD Wu. Joshua Lim on the counter attack, right-handed finish. 14-point lead for Element Steel. 3 minutes left before the halftime break. Trunks Atienza fakes, decides to kick it out. Sia, straight away 3, short. And the offensive rebound by Bernard Yu, who misses from point blank. Oh, wow. Physical action right here, and Tyrone Tan wins that loose ball battle against Bernard Yu. Two and 39 left here in the second quarter. And Element Steel already beyond the limit. It will be 2 foul shots for Tyrone Tan. But for Ramen Nagi, free throws starting to become an issue here. 4 out of 6 so far tonight. 5 out of 7 after that split by Tyrone Tan. Rajan Lee settling the troops. Giasia at the right elbow. 10 on the shot clock. They go to Trunks Atienza. 6 to shoot. Rajan Lee finds a seam. Tried to drop it off for Bernard Yu, but stolen away by Ramen Nagi. Rack attack missed by Tyrone Tan, but on the reset, Joshua Lim with a recovery. 2:03 left in the second period. Giasia asking for the screen. Decides to drive left. Sia, left baseline jumper, rattles out. Bernard Yu misses on the offensive board. JD Boo pitches it forward. Joshua Lim attacks. Tried to get for the foul, but Tom Koo recovery and scores down low. And the lead down to 11 for Element Steel. We'll be back after this timeout called by Element Steel, brought to you by Park Access. We are down to the final minute and 37 of the second quarter. Element Steel saw their lead shrink down to 11 points. As you saw Carl Lim starting to go cold as he hits the side of the backboard. As they say in the Filipino parlance, patay ang butiki on that corner, left corner three. Element Steel earlier led by as much as 19, I believe. Check that was 18 earlier here in the second quarter. Joshua Lim missing from down low, and he gives up that foul on Trunks Atienza. But luckily for Ramen Nagi, that was their last foul to give this first half. Next foul for either side will mean free throws. Under a minute left here before we hit the intermission. Giosia, rack attack down low but misses. Ramen Nagi tried to pitch forward as they want to go for a 2-for-1 opportunity but stolen away by Rayshan Lee. Carl Lim, shooter shoot but left it short. 35 seconds remaining. Joshua Lim. Extra pass going back to Lim for the score. Chalk that assist from Tyrone Tan. And that's the best assist of the quarter, brought to you by AutoGuard Car Care. Final possession for Element Steel. 4 seconds difference between game and shot clock. Lee, 5 seconds to shoot now for Element Steel. They need to put up a shot here. Stolen away by Tyrone Tan. And a traveling violation called against Tyrone Tan, as he thought the play would stop after that near shot clock violation by Element Steel. .5 seconds remaining, and Element Steel will call this timeout, brought to you by Park Access. .5 seconds remaining, and Element Steel final possession of the period, and Trunks Atienza badly missing on that final attempt from straight away at the halftime break. Element Steel seeing their advantage draw down to 7 points, 35-28. We'll be back with more action here in the 7th Stallion Cup Jumbo Plastic Linoleum Conference. This is your 7th Stallion Cup Jumbo Plastic Linoleum Conference presented to you by Jumbo Plastic Linoleum, Kaukai Thai Chicken House, Auto Guard Car Care, Park Access, and Torch. At the intermission, Element Steel leading the way against Ramen Nagi, Buffalo Swings and Things, 35-28. My name is Yagada Paz, bringing you the action from courtside on this beautiful Thursday night from the AYSN Sports Center in the heart of San Juan City. A quick look at our stats so far shows that Element Steel has been shooting the lights out so far. A little better than Ramen Nagi, 30% versus Ramen Nagi's 28. We also shot better from beyond the arc, 4 out of 18 versus Ramen Nagi's 1 out of 10. Rebounding battle slightly in favor of Ramen Nagi, 32-29. But in terms of steals, 9 steals for Element Steel leading, partially leading to 16 points off turnovers, as Ramen Nagi committed also 14 turnovers, by the way. And also fast break points going the way of Element Steel, 11-6. Leading the way for both squads. For Element Steel, that's Carl Lim with 17 points, Rajan Lee and Bernard Yu with 6 points apiece. While for Ramen Nagi, leading the way is Joshua Lim with 8, Christian Lee with 4, as well as Varul Bana with 4. Third quarter of play now underway, as we're about to hit the fever pitch here, and Renzo Yonko! Bang! Bang! Boom! Knocks down his first triple after a long while, or should we say a couple of games here, for Element Steel. 38-30. 8-point advantage for Element Steel. Yonko, left wing jumper, tried to go glass to no avail. Joshua Lim setting the table for Ramen Nagi. They go to Tyrone Tan. Back to Lim. 3 off the right. Bernard Yu with the rebound. Giacia forward pass to Yonko. Skip pass going to Paul and Teporda. Now they go to Giacia. High off the glass against Varol Bana. No good. Tom Koo thought about the 3. But suddenly Element steal. Their defense clamping down on him. Tyrone Tan straight away 3. Iron deficient and going out of bounds. 8-point ball game in favor of Element Steel to start off the third quarter. Yonko. They go back to Sia. Slowing things down. Now Yonko. Left elbow 3. Uno. Dos. Tres. Renzo Yonko starting to heat up as he starts the third quarter of play. 11-point ball game in favor of Element Steel. 41-30. Christian Lee. They go inside to Varol Bana, but a foul called against Element Steel, and it's on Bernard Yu. Second foul on Bernard Yu. Element Steel starting with Giacia, Peter Ramirez, Renzo Yonko, Paul Antiporda, and Bernard Yu. All for Ramen Nagi, Christian Lee, Tyrone Tan, Tom Koo, Varol Bana, and Joshua Lim. Element Steel makes a stop. They go to Yonko. Another triple! Yes, sirree! 3 triples for Renzo Yonko, and it's revenge game after an 0-14 shooting evening 2 Thursdays ago. Tan. They go to Tom Koo. Slithering through the defense, but misses. Great tap coming from Peter Ramirez. Yonko drives through. 11 points for Renzo Yonko tonight. 16-point ball game in favor of Element Steel. Reach and foul against Peter Ramirez. And what a way to start the second half. A 9-2 run by Element Steel. Or check that, 11-2 start by Element Steel. All from Renzo Yonko. Ramirez sends it over to Paul Antiporda. Yonko fakes. Oh wow, relocates for 3 but misses that heat check. But man, what a third quarter by Renzo Yonko to bury Ramen Nagi under a 16-point avalanche. Again, Renzo Yonko hit an 11-point start to the second half for an 11-2 run for Element Steel. 17 on the shot clock. T misses that 3. Christian Lee, offensive board and the score. 2+1 for Ramen Nagi. Paul Antiporda tagged for that foul. Chance to make this a 13-point deficit. Lee makes it so. Giacia to Antiporda. Peter Ramirez back to Antiporda with 12 on the shot clock. The hot hand, Renzo Yonko. Short on the triple. Long rebound, Joshua Lim. Lim. No conscience on that drive, but misses with the left hand. Giacia. Rack attack, too strong. Giacia, offensive board and the score. Happy birthday, Ellis Chua. 6 minutes remaining here in the third quarter. Timeout called by Ramen Nagi, and it's brought to you by Park Access. Under 6 minutes left here in the third quarter. 48-33 lead for Element Steel. They go to Kiambao. Extra pass to Joshua Lim. Tries hard but misses. Varol Bana right there. Head above shoulders against the Element Steel defense. Gets fouled. Will go to the line for two. (48-33). Bana in and out on the first foul shot. Team foul number 4 on Element Steel. But man, what a third quarter for Element Steel. 13-5. 11 of those points from the streak shooting, Renzo Yonko. Told me before the game that he will have a bounce back game, and what a bounce back it is. Especially with Ramen Nagi, Buffalo Swings and Things challenging late in the second quarter. Christian Lee goes downhill, and nice find from Ken T. It's down to a 12-point ball game. Dejan Lee swings it to Yonko. Now Ken T closely marking on him. Giacia at the baseline against Varol Bana. Shoots over him. Rainbow shot for Giacia. 14-point lead once again for Element Steel. Christian Lee gets fouled by Renzo Yonko. And Yonko vehemently challenging that call. Well, of course, you gotta give it up to Christian Lee with a veteran smarts to fish for that foul. Two from the line here for Christian Lee. Tonight, 9 points, 8 rebounds, and an assist. If he makes the next, he will be in double-digit scoring. First player from Ramen Nagi to do so. But, it won't be so. Renzo Yonko breaks away. Left elbow three. Oh, so close. Now Ramen Nagi goes to Ken T. Drop pass to Christian Lee, who gets another foul. Christian Lee 0 for 2 from his last trip at the free throw line. Ramen Nagi 7 out of 12 from the line. Christian Lee 0 for 3 in his last few trips at the foul line. Christian Lee misses 4 free throws in a row. And off the rebounding play, Rajan Lee got called for that last foul, and Element Steel beyond the limit this period. Varol Bana going to the free throw line for 2 shots. 5 points, 8 rebounds, and an assist tonight. First of 2 down for Bana. Two out of 2 for Bana. Bana tonight with 7 points, 8 rebounds now. Giacia sends it out to Lim. Cross-court pass to Rajan Lee. Now they go to Yonko. Yonko short on the jumper. Long rebound by Giacia. 12 seconds on the shot clock. Yonko. They go to the corner to Giacia. Cia drives. And a caging foul called against Varol Bana. .14 on the shot clock. Rajan Lee surveying the floor, gives it up to Sia. Shot clock down to 7. Sia from the elbow of the foul line misses. Bana pitches it forward, headed to Zarkiam Bao, but stolen away by Rajan Lee. Carl Lim for 3! Yes, sirree! 53-38. Element steal. I believe has not trailed in this one. Bana backs down against his defenders, misses. Yonko with the rebound. Ranzel Yonko sends it for Lim. Lim drives closer, kicks it out to Yonko. Shot clock down to 14 for Element steal. Giosia drives closer, hits it off his thigh and stolen away by Ramen Nagi. 4-on-2 now for the red shirts. Barrel Bana 2+1. It's down to a baker's dozen advantage for Element Steel. And Giosia, huffing and puffing, asked to be subbed. And Trunks Atienza will relieve Sia. Barrel Bana now with 9. Make that 10. A dozen points separate these two squads. Lim trying to make it 15. No. Bana with the rebound. Now in the hands of Tyrone Tan. They send it over to the right wing. Ken T. Unconscious. But they rule it as a long 2. 11-point ball game in favor of Element Steel. Yonko calling for the clear out. Ramirez. Screen rejected. Stolen away. Tyrone Tan. Now at the front court. Sends it over to Lee, but stolen again by Element Steel. Yonko stop and pop 3. No dice. Last 2 minutes of the third. Ramen Nagi with the man advantage. Christian Lee. The nifty find by Zarkiam Bao. And that's your AutoGuard Car Care Best Assist of the Quarter to our Jumbo Plastic Linoleum Best Offensive Play of the Period. Timeout brought to you by Park Access. Minute and 44 remaining here in the third quarter of play. 14 seconds on the shot clock. Ramirez kicks it out to Rajan Lee, who drove closer, but unfortunately shuffled his feet like a deck of cards and got caught by our officials. Minute and a half remaining here in the third quarter. 19 on the shot clock now for Ramen Nagi, Buffalo's Wings and Things. 12 to shoot. Tan drives closer, too strong off the window. Rajan Lee with the rebound. Sends it over to Peter Ramirez, back to Rajan Lee. 15 to shoot now. Yonko to Ramirez. Ramirez drives to the basket, throws it away to Tyrone Tan. 2-on-1 here to Christian Lee. Doesn't make the layup, and oh, that was a funky spill to the floor. And the foul called against Trunks Atienza, and that will mean free throws for Tyrone Tan. Under a minute left here in the third. That'll be 2 foul shots for Tyrone Tan. 5 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists so far in this one. Makes the front end of 2. Tan trying to make this interesting for Ramen Nagi. Buffalo swings and things. Hits both. 15-point ball game in favor of Element Steel. Rejan Lee swings it to Yonko. 15 on the shot clock. Peter Ramirez with a rainbow shot from inside the paint. 35 seconds remaining. Christian Lee inside the foul circle. Misses. Varol Bana! Offensive board and the putback to make this a 5-point ball game. 19 seconds left here in the third. Renzo Yonko with isolation play. This is the man you want with the leather with time winding down. Renzo Yonko swings it to Rejan Lee for 3. Iron deficient on that 3-point attempt. And that's how we will end 3 quarters of action. Element Steel's lead shrinks to 5 against Ramen Nagi, 55-50. We'll be back with 4th quarter of play here in the 7th Stallion Cup Jumbo Plastic Linoleum Conference. This is your 7th Stallion Cup Jumbo Plastic Linoleum Conference. And entering the 4th and final quarter, it's Element Steel leading by 5 against Ramen Nagi. Buffalo swings and things, 55-50. Corner 3 on the way, but missed by Ken T. And look at that recovery from Joshua Lim. 2+1. Chance to make this a 2-point ball game and make this a little more interesting. Joshua Lim makes the first of 2 foul shots. And correction, that was just a 2-shot foul, not a bonus opportunity. And Varol Bana slams hard on the floor. And Varol Bana holding on to his head. We hope it's nothing serious, especially at this juncture of the ball game, that Ramen Nagi is just down by 4 and with a chance to challenge Element Steel. Baseline inbound here for Ramen Nagi. Joshua Lim sends it over to Ken T. Now in the hands of Tyrone Tan. 6 to shoot. They go to the corner. Varol Bana rises for that jumper. Great recovery for the big man. And Ramen Nagi in the thick of things, down by 2. Giosia to Rejan Lee. Lee makes his move to Giosia. Drops it down low. And a miss by Bernard Yu. And now Ramen Nagi. Chance to tie or get the lead here. Canty sets it up. Bang! Bang! Boom! Canty gives Ramen Nagi the lead by 1, 56-50. to 55. 8:45 remaining in the fourth. Paul Antiporda misses, but Regan Lee with a putback. Hustle play for Element Steel. On the drive, Joshua Lim misses. Now Regan Lee on the counter attack. Ramirez, and that pass but to Antiporda. A little wayward from Peter Ramirez. And coming off that third quarter by Renzel Yonko, all of a sudden, Ramen Nagi turning things around late in the third and into the fourth. Bana nearly gets a three-point play, but we'll go to the line for two. Bernard Yu gets his fourth personal foul in this crucial juncture. Tough break for Element Steel as Yu is the only big man wide enough for Element Steel to challenge Varol Bana down low. For the tie, and Varol Bana knots up the game at 57. Giosia, the handoff to Yonko. Another handoff, this time to Regan Lee. Cross-court pass, Giosia. Short on the jumper. Long rebound. Goes to Ramen Nagi. Lim misses, but the putback by a rim running Varol Bana. Hold up, we got a technical foul called. Oh, so Ramen Nagi gets that second infraction of resentment to a call, or a non-call this time around. But unfortunately, a miss from the free throw line for Element Steel. Seven minutes and 40 remaining. Both games this Thursday have gone down the wire. Bridgestone earlier, winning 75-72. How will this one end? We'll find out in 7 minutes and 29. Paul Antiporda gets the hoop, the harm, the three-point play the hard way. And we are tied once again, this time at 59. What a Thursday night we have in the 7th Stallion Cup Jumbo Plastic Linoleum Conference. Paul Antiporda now at the free throw line. 4 points tonight. Couldn't give the lead back to Element Steel. Varol Bana rim running. A little too strong on that layup. Here comes a power play for Element Steel. Yonko fakes, sidesteps, launches the three. Too strong. Rebound, Tom Koo. Christian Lee sends it over to Tyrone Tan. Cross-court pass. Scoreboard Bao misses. Yonko, power rebound. And that's a Renzel Yonko rebound I haven't seen before. Paul Antiporda coolly, calmly, collectedly makes that right wing jumper. 2-point advantage for Element Steel. Make or break time for both of these squads. And that might be it if it's Bernard Yu who gives up that foul. And yes, it's off of Bernard Yu. That's his fifth and final foul. But Renzel Yonko, a bit of collateral damage on that last sequence, feeling a little shaken and stirred just like a James Bond martini. Bana now at the free throw line for the possible tie. Bana sinks the first. And it's been a long way since Ramen Nagi fell to an avalanche of Yonko three-pointers. They fell behind by as much as 16 earlier in the second half, and now down by 1 after that Bana split up the line. Yonko sends it over. Paul Antiporda misses from beyond the arc. Long rebound by Zarkian Bao. Christian Lee driving through. Before the shot, says our official. Let's see who the foul is on. And it's on Rajan Lee. 17 to shoot. Quick inbound, but a miss. Varol Bana once again heading to the line for 2. And that is the advantage you get if you have someone as tall and as mobile as a Varol Bana. He ties the ball game up at 61. Now a chance for Ramen Nagi to take the lead. Bana hits both. Element Steel getting their first win last Thursday. Chance for them to win back-to-back. But for Ramen Nagi, chance for them to break their back-to-back losing streak tonight. Renzo Yonko makes his move. Drive and kick. Giosia. Yes! Giosia gives Element Steel back the lead, 63 to 62. 16 on the shot clock. Cross-court pass goes to Tom Koo. Air balls that jumper, but it's off Renzo Yonko. Seven seconds on the shot clock. Christian Lee had the leather tapped away by Giosia. Dan, straight away 3, left it short. The tap goes to Rajan Lee. Halfway through the fourth and final quarter. Which team will hang on? Will it be Element Steel clinging on to this 1-point lead? Or will it be Ramen Nagi down 1? Giosia! Call the ice! Extends the Element Steel lead to 3. Tyrone 10 sends it over to Christian Lee. Knocks it down from foul line extended. Ramen Nagi down 1. Sia. Now to Yonko. Antiporda. Rajan Lee snakes through the defense. Bothered by Varol Bana. Joshua Lim. Inside. Nice find to Tom Koo. The baseline operator scores. And Ramen Nagi regains the lead. Ramen Nagi has not led by more than 2 points tonight. Element Steel turns the ball over. Foul given up by Element Steel. And it's on Rajan Lee. And Rajan Lee fouls out of the ball game. Tough night for Rajan Lee. 8 points, 8 rebounds, and 3 assists. Joshua Lim now at the free throw line for Ramen Nagi. First of two, missed. 9 points, 13 rebounds, 2 assists. Lim goes 1 for 2. Third member of Ramen Nagi on the floor right now in double-digit scoring. Two-point ball game, 6-7, 6-5. Paul Antiporda sends it to the corner. Carl Lim! Cold as ice! Knocking it in! 1 point lead for Element Steel. 3 minutes and 28 left in this ball game. Christian Lee. Wayward and that jumper. Paul Antiporda gets the rebound. 3 minutes and 14 left. Antiporda to Carl Lim. Sends it over. And Peter Ramirez calmly sinks it from the baseline. And it's a 3-point Element Steel lead. We are down to the midnight hours of this battle. Near stop here by Element Steel. Varol Bana down low inside the restricted zone. 70-69. And we are going down the wire in the conclusion of our Thursday night here in the 7th Stallion Cup Jumbo Plastic Linoleum Conference. Yonko gets fouled. That's team foul number 3 against Ramen Nagi. Two and a half remaining in regulation. Renzel Yonko, 7 to shoot. Sia, long 2, in and out. Bana, skies high for the rebound. Kenti to Bana down low. Bana powers against Peter Ramirez, and the lead back to Ramen Nagi. Last 2 minutes brought to you by Jumbo Plastic Linoleum. Paul Antiporda, extra pass, Carl Lim. Yes, sir! Bing! Bang! Boom! 2-point lead for Element Steel. Tyrone Tan kicks it out to Bana. Extra pass to the corner. Kenti! Yes, sir! 1-point lead for Ramen Nagi. It's anybody's ball game tonight. Giosia. Now Yonko. 9 to shoot. Carl Lim to Sia with 4 on the shot clock. Giosia. No go. And Bana gets the rebound after that defensive stop. Brought to you by Kaukai Thai Chicken House. Great tap there from Paul Antiporda, but Ramen Nagi recovers, and a traveling violation on Ramen Nagi. Cardiac game tonight. Bridgestone earlier with an exciting finish to their victory earlier against Acro City. A 3-point 75-72 win. Who will get the win tonight? In this one, Carl Lim missing from beyond the arc, and Ramen Nagi 40 seconds away from pulling this from under Element Steel. Shot clock at 10. Tyrone Tan. Oh, and a steal nearly completed by Element Steel. 1 on the shot clock. Bana at the buzzer! 23 seconds remaining. And Element Steel down by 3. Timeout on the floor brought to you by Park Access.
Shot clock at 14 seconds.
This is your 7th Stallion Cup Jumbo Plastic Linoleum Conference. Element Steel down by 3. And now Renzo Yonko, the man you want with the leather. 6 to shoot. Yonko launches. Bang! Bang! Boom! Renzo Yonko ties this one at 76. 12.5 seconds remaining. And this is one for the books here in the Stallion Cup. And that is your Jumbo Plastic Linoleum Best Offensive Play of the Quarter as we head into this timeout brought to you by Park Access. Renzo Yonko for Element Steel tonight. Bounce back and then some. 14 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists. All of those points in the second half alone. If you just tuned in, Element Steel now without Rajan Lee, who fouled out of the ball game together with Bernard Yu. So Element Steel down to 6 men. And now, Ramen Nagi nearly turns the ball over. Christian Lee, they send it over to Tyrone Tan. 5 seconds remaining. Ken T, 2, 1. Baseline shot. Oh, no good. 40 minutes, not enough. We are going to overtime. Thursday night is not yet over. Here in the 7th Stallion Cup Jumbo Plastic Linoleum Conference, we'll be back for 5 extra minutes. This is your 7th Stallion Cup Jumbo Plastic Linoleum Conference. Renzo Yonko with the second half of his life, trying to make this a great start to the overtime, but misses. Again, Yonko, 14 points, all in the second half. Yonko steps back for the jumper. Back-to-back misses. He started the third quarter with 11 straight points, which would have been enough for Element Steel to take control of this one. But midway through the third and into the fourth, Ramen Nagi making a comeback for the ages. Giosia for 3! Rainbow shot, but referees rule it as a long 2. It's a 2-point advantage for Element Steel. Kiambao steps back to a 3, but no dice. Paul Antiporda with the rebound. Renzo Yonko rises for the left elbow jumper. Third straight miss of the overtime. Joshua Lim with the leather. They go inside to Bana. And Varol Bana gets fouled down low, but Element Steel already in penalty since late in the fourth quarter. That's automatic 2 free throws for Bana. First of 2 in. Chance to tie it with this second free throw. Two out of 2 from the line.
Subdivision.
Three minutes and 35 left here in overtime. Tension so thick you could cut it with a knife. And Giosia, no doubter, from beyond the arc straight away. 81-78. Tyrone Tan. 12 on the shot clock. Well defended by Lim. What a tap coming from Paul and Teporda to prevent that cross-court pass. 9 on the shot clock now. Ken T from way downtown. Left it short. Bana, the putback. No dice. Long rebound goes to Giosia. Midnight hours of the extension. Offensive foul on Renzo Yonko. And Tyrone Tan giving up his body here in the extension. Renzo Yonko with his 4th personal foul. 3 points separating these two squads. Bana inside, triple team, kicks it out to Ken T. And Ken T steps on the sideline. Two minutes and 40 remaining here in overtime. Sia. Yonko. 14 to shoot. Kyle Lim. Well defended by Bana. Paul and Teporda off that cross-court pass. Sinks it. $84-78. Ramen Nagi still not calling that timeout. 2:20 remaining. Tyrone Tan to Bana. Back to Tan. 14 to shoot. They drop it to Tom Koo. Back to Tan. 3 ball. Iron deficient. And saved to the wrong man in Paul and Teporda. Last 2 minutes brought to you by Jumbo Plastic Linoleum. Will this be the final 2 minutes finally of this match? Can Element Steel close this one out? Sia, another 3! Oh, good. Bana sends it forward to Tyrone Tan. Tan finds a seam, misses the layup. It will stay with Ramen Nagi. One and 34 remaining. Ken T checks out, replaced by Christian Lee. 14 on the shot clock. They go to Bana. Bana goes downhill. And he gets called for steps. And the foul given up here by Tyrone Tan. 6-point ball game, and that was the last foul to give for Ramen Nagi. Minute and 20 left. Yonko with the isolation play. A minute and 15 left in the final frame. 10 to shoot. Renzo Yonko steps back. 3 on the way. Offline. Bana with the rebound. Christian Lee. Tyrone Tan, now they send it to the corner. And the driving layup off the baseline. Good for Joshua Lim. 4-point divide in favor of Element Steel. Giacia to Renzo Yonko. 9 to shoot. Renzo Yonko drives, kicks. Ball at the corner. Misses. Half a minute remaining. Steal by Paul Antipoda, and he gets fouled by Christian Lee. Ramen Nagi in penalty, and Paul Antipoda could seal this one with makes at the free throw line. Antipoda with 6 points, 10 rebounds, 3 assists. Or check that, 4 assists rather. One out of 2 for Antipoda. Timeout for Ramen Nagi, Buffalo Swings and Things, and it's brought to you by Park Access.
Shot
25.7 seconds remaining, and a turnover by Ramen Nagi might have just sealed their fate. If this score will hold, it will be a 3rd straight loss for Ramen Nagi, Buffalo Swings and Things, and looks like they will just dribble this one out. Antipoda gets fouled by Ken T. And these possibly insurance free throws. Renzo Yonko, the hero in this one. 7 seconds remaining in regulation, and knocking down the game-tying three-pointer. 14 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists. In what has been a bounce-back game in his return to the lineup. 87-80 for Element Steel as they're headed to back-to-back victories after dropping their first 2 assignments in this one. And Bana gives up the foul on Giacia. Another monster performance from the field. 15 points, 33% from the field. 5 rebounds and 7 assists. Giacia gets a shooter's bounce with 7.4 seconds remaining. (89-82). And finally, after an extra session, Element Steel survives Ramen Nagi 89-82. And we will have our interview with our Jumbo Plastic Linoleum player of the game on the other side of this break. This is your 7th Stallion Cup Jumbo Plastic Linoleum Conference. And we just witnessed Element Steel with back-to-back victories, pulling this one out of the fire in overtime against Ramen Nagi. Now with us, our Jumbo Plastic Linoleum Best Player of the Game, Carl Lim of Element Steel. And Carl, grabe ang pinahita ninyo. You know, after those back-to-back defeats to start the season, ngayon naman, nakita ko na ang ganda na ng pasok ninyo as a team. The third quarter start, especially from Renzo Yoncos, 11 points to start the half. Pero ikaw, consistent ka throughout this game. Ano masasabi mo sa performance ng team ninyo tonight?
Just team effort all the way. Each game may kulang talaga, so we always have to help each other pick up the slack. So we always just have each other's back, so that's how we got the win today.
Ano nakikita mong difference ng Element Steel to start the season na 0-2 and yung Element Steel na nananalo na in the last 2 games dito sa Stallion Cup?
Kapaan lang talaga. New teammates this starting the season, so practice not enough to bring season. So first 2 games was kind of our baptism by fire, but here we are. We're getting the feel of each other a bit better.
And Carl, may ka ba mga gustong batiin and syempre bigyan ng shoutout sa ating live stream coverage?
To the entire Element Steel team, this one was for all of us. Thank you sa tiwala sa teammates namin, and to my wife, hello, AL.
Alright, once again, Carl Lim of Element Steel, your Jumbo Plastic Linoleum Best Player of the Game. And that concludes game day number 9 of your 7th Stallion Cup Jumbo Plastic Linoleum Conference. On behalf of the hardworking team here behind the scenes at Stallion Cup, my name is Ego Dapas, signing off for now. We'll see you for game day number 10 on Saturday, still here at the AYSN Sports Center in the heart of San Juan, and we bid you good night.